सो आय थिंक हर्षालीला इंट्रोड्यूस करायचं काम मीच करते. हर्षाली बांदेकर आता खांडेकर, माझी एक अगदी लाडकी विद्यार्थिनी. माझ्या बऱ्याचशा विद्यार्थिनी माझ्या मुलीच असतात. आम्ही 4 वीक्स SSL ग्रुप फेअर अँड लवली प्रोग्राम चालवतो, त्यामुळे त्या सुंदर मुली आणखीन सुंदर दिसायला लागतात. तशातलीच एक ती मुलगी आहे, तिने चक्क वडाच्या झाडावर काम केलंय. टिश्यू कल्चरपासनं काही हाय व्हॅल्यू केमिकल्स तयार करायचं काम, त्याच्यावर तिचा PhD आहे. आणि आमच्याकडे एक सायमल्टेनियसली CTA म्हणून कोर्स असतो, केमिकल टेक्नॉलॉजी मॅनेजमेंट. 3 सेमिस्टरचा कंप्लीट डिप्लोमा कोर्स आहे. फक्त शनिवार रविवार लेक्चर्स असतात. 5 सब्जेक्ट्स असतात एका सेमिस्टरला. 4थ्या सेमिस्टरला प्रोजेक्ट असतो आणि सगळी फॅकल्टी बाहेरून येते, कारण आम्ही काय कोणी MBA वगैरे नाही, त्यामुळे आम्ही शिकवत नाही. आणि हा हायली सबसिडाइज बाय UDCT अल्युमनाय असोसिएशन आहे. स्टुडंटकडनं आम्ही फक्त 15,000 सेमिस्टरची फी घेतो आणि 1 लाख रुपये, कारण त्या लोकांचे फीज खूप असतात. ते एक दिवस येतात त्यांचे, ते प्रोफेशनल टीचर्स आहेत. 15,000 20,000 वगैरे डेली त्यांच्या फीज असतात. सो ते त्यांना अल्युमिनाय असोसिएशन त्यांचं हे देतं, मुलांकडनं आम्ही घेत नाही. तर असा हा कोर्स सुद्धा तिने केलाय, कारण PhD म्हणून करिअर केली तरी मॅनेजमेंटचे जे सर्टन आस्पेक्ट्स आहेत, मार्केटिंग आहे, ह्युमन रिसोर्स आहे, प्लॅनिंग आहे, फिनान्स आहे, ते सगळं कळलं पाहिजे. आणि ते तिने खूप सक्सेसफुली केलेलं आहे. आणि त्यामुळे तिला मी परवा फोन करून म्हटलं, तू जरा कम्पेअर करायला पण ये सकाळचा भाग, आणि एक छोटंसं एंटरप्रिन्युअरवरती एक लेक्चर पण दे. आणि विथ दिस ब्रीफ handing over to Harshali. Welcome, Harshali.
Hello again, and thank you so much, ma'am, for that kind introduction. I will try and keep it really short because, of course, bharpur activities आहेत आपल्याकडे आणि students असल्यामुळे this presentation is little more theoretical. Like I'm sure तुम्ही सगळ्यांनी entrepreneurship हा शब्द ऐकला असेल, काहींनी कदाचित ऐकलाही नसेल. So basically, just to know what it is, since we are all कुठेतरी आपल्या सगळ्यांकडे आयडियाज असतात, पण विल असते पण वे दिसत नाही. So this is just a compilation of what could possibly make you an entrepreneur, whether you think you have it in you to become an entrepreneur. So let me quickly begin with it. Entrepreneurship, it's a fancy term, sounds big. Basically it's derived from a French word which means to undertake something, किंवा काहीतरी आपण टेकअप करणं किंवा काहीतरी घेणं. So this word is derived from that. So let's try and understand entrepreneurship by its definition, which is very simple. It just means it's a process of creating something new. It's a process of creating something new, how? Of value, by devoting all that you have in it. Once you have assessed ki tumse finances काय आहेत, तुमचं psychological, whether you are there, whether you have the mindset for it, whether you are willing to take the social risks associated with it. So all these things encompass the process of entrepreneurship. So it is nothing but turning an idea into a profitable business. So now that entrepreneurship कुठेतरी आपल्याला कळालंय, let's quickly try and look at who an entrepreneur is. An entrepreneur is somebody who can take any idea, whether it is a product or a service, okay, and have the skill set. The person has the skills in him, the person has the will in him, and he has the courage in him to do what? To take extreme risk, to turn whatever his concept is into reality and to bring it to the market. Of course, current final aim काय आहे? The profits out of it. So why don't we all imagine that whatever idea that we have in our minds right now, somewhere, sometime, there's going to be a product that is going to come out of it. Maybe this will help us better understand this presentation. So, in simple terms, if you have an idea in your mind, त्याचं तुम्ही जेव्हा रूपांतर करता एका profitable business मध्ये, that process is entrepreneurship and you become an entrepreneur. There is a simple dialogue in that English movie where Sridevi makes laddu, and first time she listens to the word entrepreneur, she doesn't even realize की ती स्वतः काहीतरी तयार करून, so she is somebody who's creating something. So she is an entrepreneur in a way. So moving on, what are the characteristics? You have to really assess. जसं मॅम आणि सरांच्या टॉक्स मधनं आपल्याला कळालंही असेल. Of course, not everybody is born with it, but you have to really see whether, like I said, sometimes you have the will, but you really need to know whether you have the will in you. Only then the way can be made. So who are these entrepreneurs? They are original thinkers. Of course, there are millions of ideas. I mean, right now you must have been enriched with ideas that were being bombarded, you know, after one slide after the other. आमच्या रिसर्च इन्स्टिट्यूटमध्ये पण इतक्या आयडियाज आहेत, प्रत्येक प्रोजेक्टमधनं काही ना काहीतरी कोरोलरी आयडिया येतेच. But how feasible the idea is, whether that, what is the originality of the idea, and idea is the very, very central, it's a very first step of being an entrepreneur. Secondly, you have to be a risk taker. You cannot play safe. Because Ayushat play safe kelavar, of course you can get to one level. But we are talking about entrepreneurs who are going to be leaders, who are going to generate employment for a lot of people. So they have to be risk takers. They have to take responsibility for their own action. Of course, if जर तुम्ही स्वतः leader असणार आहात आणि उद्या तुम्ही डगमगून चालणार नाही, whatever it is, whichever step you take, you have to take responsibility for all the actions that you have. You have to feel competent about it and feel capable about it. You have to set high goals. पहिलेच goals तुम्ही बघूया काय होतंय, बघूया काय होतंय. It doesn't work that way. You have to go at it full power. You have to set high goals for it. And you have to really enjoy working towards it. That's where the innovation comes into the picture. That's where, when you innovate that idea and when you put the effort, that's how you grow as an entrepreneur. Of course, you need to have strong managerial competencies. तुमचा communication skills चांगला हवं, तुमच्यात बोलण्याचा कnack हवा, तुमच्यात काम करून घेण्याचा कnack हवा. Of course, and you need the technical skills, because you might have the idea for it. You might even feel, अरे मी तर बोलू पण चांगलं शकतो सगळ्यांसमोर, you know, I can talk well. But the technical aspect of it is what going to tell you whether the project is going to be a success or not. Moving on. So again, this is something which ma'am keeps telling all her students. So when we look at anyone, all of us have our individual personalities. All of us are born with certain amount of IQ, which we have developed over a period of time. आणि तो IQ फारसा बदलत नाही. Einstein's IQ, my IQ, XYZ's IQ will more or less remain the same. But what can be changed? The EQ, the emotional quotient, because that is something that we can work on. And this is a very, very essential quantity for being an entrepreneur. So Magashi ma'am ने जसे तो quadrant दाखवलेले, win-win, lose-win, lose-lose. So if you can see on the right-hand side quadrant itself, we have a successful CEO or the entrepreneur, because he's somebody who's going to drag the situation to the win-win state. Moving on. So what is the process like? Entrepreneurship, जेव्हा तुम्ही म्हणता, I want to be an entrepreneur, but what is the process that I have to go through? Let's just quickly see it. So basically, I'm the founder. I have an idea in the mind. This idea, I have to look for an opportunity. Of course, I have to go somewhere. Today, I decide to do something. I have to find a market for it. I have to find a suitable finance for it. So with the opportunity, with my team, and with the resources around, I'm going to be able to apply my skills to it, which is communication, creativity, and leadership skills, to come to a suitable business plan, and which will fit in all the gaps. So this entire thing together is going to help me be an entrepreneur. Of course, there are pitfalls of it. There is going to be ambiguity in the business. There are going to be uncertainties, exogenous forces, etc. So this process is basically opportunity and market driven. It's driven by the lead entrepreneur. It depends on the balance of the things, and it is a holistic approach. Of course, both WHO and HOLI holistic. So this is what it is basically. To me, idea, you have an idea in your mind. It goes through a preparation phase. You assess the things around you. You really come to a state where you have to look into all the things and evaluate. The preparation stage goes into the incubation stage. Incubation steps up. Now it is the illumination stage. Now I decide to do something. And finally, it's the execution stage. So these are the stages which essentially, even if it's a first generation entrepreneur or a second generation entrepreneur, essentially goes with in terms of setting up a new business. So what are the questions to keep in mind? Of course, the term is very, very nice. I want to be an entrepreneur. There are a lot of others who want to be an entrepreneur. But how do we evaluate? How do we go about it? Firstly, we need to ask ourselves, what are my motivations for owning a business? Whether it is a lifestyle venture, whether I just want a small company, घरगुती काहीतरी बनवायचंय, पापड, आचार business काहीतरी टाकायचंय, so that I have flexibility in the hours, I don't need to invest much. What is the aim like? Or is it a smaller profit venture which is a smaller company, not as small as a lifestyle venture, but it is really small, nothing that I need to excessively worry about? Or is it going to be a bigger venture, that the high growth venture where the goal is maximum profits? So you need to decide your motivation level. What are you getting into first? After you have assessed that, then the question comes, should I start a business or should I take up an existing business? So of course, if you're starting a business, it's cheap because you can plan your finances, but bharpur planning lagto, bharpur research lagto. Whether I'm buying it can be very expensive and maybe out of reach. It requires, of course, it requires less planning, but I don't know the pros and cons of it. Or you could just take up a franchisee, which is a business which is run by other individual, and the person basically grants the rights to you. So after deciding the motivation levels, what kind of business you want, whether you should buy it or start it, moving on, the third question is, what and where is the market and why I want to sell it? This is exactly what Dr. Annapuri was talking about in the morning. You have to decide and you have to assess for your own self what is exactly the market. If I'm starting something in food, what is the market for it? What are the competitive products which are already into it? What is it that is going to give me an edge over those products? What is it that are going to be my strengths? This is where your SWOT analysis is going to help. The assessment of your strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats. Moving on, how much will it cost me? Of course, hey, it's not a simple process. This is something which is going to require days and days and days of planning. There are going to be very interesting sessions in the afternoon. Mr. Nilesh is going to help us in this regard. So costing kaya hai, whether I am, and it says plan realistically, not optimistically. Of course, all of us want our businesses to do well, but the key to remember is you need to be realistic in the funds. And of course, you need to know where the funds are going to come from, whether it's going to be any funding agency or it's going to be some angel. My father is going to give me the funds or my uncle is going to give me the funds. Assessment of the funds is a critical point. And one of the last things is, should my company be domestic or global? I had a very interesting 18-year-old friend who by the age of 20, he had clients in every continent because his business was making websites. So once he started off at a local level, so all it required is his brains. He used to sit on one computer, eventually grew, people wanted him to design the websites for them. And by the age of 20, within 2 years, he expanded so much that he had reached globally. He had literally a continent, he had a client in every single continent. But can we do it for food products? Can we do it for chemical products? We need to really assess that. So whether to start globally or whether to start domestic is a huge call that we have to take depending on all the other assessment of factors. Right. So now that we have seen what are the different questions like to answer at your own level, there's just so much to choose from. And what if I go wrong? Of course, we have to go wrong because that's where we'll learn. And failures are failures are very, very essential for us to learn from them. So basically, what are the tips for entrepreneurs? You have to learn from mistakes, others' failures. Ma'am keeps saying, you have to make mistakes, but make new mistakes. Don't repeat the mistakes of the others. So you don't, of course, waste the time which others have wasted in going through it and then rectifying it. Make sure this is what you really, really want. And just because there is some trend somewhere, this is doing good, like somebody was saying in the morning, we have funds, government subsidy, I'm thinking of putting something. Don't do that. If this is something that you really, really want to do, then only go in for it. Of course, solve problems, be extremely passionate about things. I think all the jobs which you wanted to be hit require these essentials. And of course, entrepreneurship shouldn't be just a substitute to your current job. We have seen the prerequisites to become an entrepreneur. Don't take it up as if, let me get into it, nahi chala to mera job to hai. If you have to go into it, you have to get into it with all your courage and energy. So of course, what are the things that you need to be aware of? Other people's behavior, negative work environment, negative world view, changing environment, past experiences. Sometimes these slides, of course, they are there on the internet, but it makes, it is essential to put it on a presentation like these because we often forget. Sometimes when we talk about it, that's when we realize what are the things that I really, really, really need to take care of and I need to avoid, because now that my focus is getting into something new, is doing something new. So again, coming to ma'am's question, can we generate first generation entrepreneurs? Of course, it's the belief in the SSL group that yes, we can. And this is basically the concept that we have to move from singularity on to multiplicity and further unity. This is again an interesting picture wherein this is of course an idea inspired by ma'am. So as you can see, when the organism starts making his shell, he's going in the horizontal axis. So that is basically all of us are doing right now. Our everyday routine, it's going on, you know, we are just weaving an entire web around it. It's going on. But sometimes something somewhere just hits us and we take that vertical shift and suddenly the con starts being made. So the point that I'm trying to make is you never know what the trigger point is. It could be this workshop. It could be that 5-minute interaction with ma'am in the afternoon. It could be just a walk outside. You never know what the trigger point is. So if you've all somewhere, if there is a scope and a hope of being an entrepreneur, why not? Just look out for these signs, just look out for these triggers, and this is exactly, that's the point that you exactly want to look out for. So working towards goal, of course, all of us know how to work towards it, but why not look at it once again? Believe in yourself, have the right attitude, manage your time really well. You have to be dedicated and work hard towards it, and you have to think differently, like be mad. Mad here, yeah, mad means make a difference. You can be that mad as well, but then that's not what you're looking for. So you have to make a difference. Same thing, I'm glad ma'am already touched upon this, because this is eventually what your job as an entrepreneur is going to be. उद्या तुम्हाला काहीतरी फरक घडवायचा आहे सोसायटीसाठी पण. You have to generate environment. So somewhere in whichever sector, we are talking about the food sector right now, but eventually the final goal has to be the betterment of the country, the betterment of the sectors, the functioning. So you have to work towards some common vision. With this, again, this is from the internet, but there is no shame in sharing it because it's so simple, you know. It just reads, I found the answer, there are 7 secrets of success, because entrepreneur बनायचं तर positive thinking ही सगळ्यात मोठी गोष्ट आहे आणि ती सगळ्यात पहिली आली पाहिजे. So when I'm just sitting in the room right now, I look at the fan and I mean the room firstly tells me high ceiling, it tells me aim high. The fan tells me be cool. The clock tells me every minute is precious. The mirror tells me reflect before you act. Window tells me see the world. Calendar says be up to date. And the door said push harder to achieve your goal. Very simple thing, but makes so much sense. And this is just so everyday living of ours. It's just that if we pay a little more concentration, I'm sure the world will be a very different place. So be that bulb which is lit up and not the others who are not doing the role that they are meant to do. With this, a big thank you for listening.